As much as I love to bike, you'd think I have my transport setup for taking my bike places just completely dialed in. But to be honest, most of the time I just throw my bike in the back of my truck bed. But about 6 weeks ago, I got a bike rack from Saris, and that's what I want to talk about today. It's right here. This is their new Edge 2 bike rack. As you can tell, it's got a pretty beefy design. That's because it's designed to work with e-bikes up to 80 pounds per bike, which is ridiculously heavy, but e-bikes like that do exist out there. As you can see with my speed bomb right here, there's no frame contact. You've got a strap on the back and then this arm up front, which comes nowhere near to touching right here. You might also notice this is a 29 by 3.25. Sarah says it'll clear a 27 5 by 5, which I don't think that even exists. It will fit my 4.5 inch that I've got for my fat bike. It fits a 29 by 3.25 just fine. They say 29 by 3 is the max, but that's because there's not a whole lot of these out there. In order to clear that, you do have a ridiculously long strap right here on the back, but they've got this interesting system where the end of the strap has a hole, and for management of it, you hook it on there and then you just kind of pull it tight, and that will keep it from flopping around in the wind or whatever when you're not using it. As well as when you are loading a bike on and you want this out of the way, you can just hook it on like that and it'll stay out of the way while you put the bike on. The arms are pretty cool. They're not just like a simple sliding telescoping arm. They're spring loaded. And also they have a hard stop, so you can't make it go too far back. That's about as far as it'll go up right there. And then to open it, you push that button down one-handed and you can hear it clicking. It's got a spring and like a ratchet to keep it there. So it's gonna basically tighten itself. It makes putting this on really easy and really secure, because all you do is you pull it out, flip it up, and then when you go to secure it, you just kind of give it a push and it'll lock into place right there. Now, if you want to access your tailgate, this handle helps you to both fold up, so it goes up to a 90 degree, so it's nice and out of the way when you're not using the rack. It can also help you to tilt the rack out of the way, so if you needed to get in to your tailgate, you can get into your tailgate. This also works. I've used this on, I have a 2017 Ford Expedition, and this has helped me to be able to, I can't quite open the back all the way, but I can get into the back window, and if I had this bike on the outer one, then I could open it just totally fine. It's a little tricky with one hand right now. It's because I'm holding the camera, but to lift up is super easy. So the way it works right there is there's like a little spot for your 4 fingers, and then you can pull on that with your thumb. This is probably my favorite other feature, is this is an anti-rattle knob right there. So no tools needed. You just twist it right, and that will make the rack more secure. As you can see, no wobbling. It's moving the whole truck. As well as the rack comes with a locking hitch pin. And speaking of locking, if you want to secure your bike, at least a little peace of mind, we all know that cable locks are not the most secure out there, but if you want to secure it to the rack, you've got this right here built in. So this is the side for the key, and then over here looks a little funny at first. That's because this part pulls out like that to make it twice the length, and I've actually used this several times. So really easy to use. Is it a guarantee no one's going to steal your bike? No, but it gives you a little more peace of mind. One pretty thoughtful thing they did is this block right here. You might be wondering what that is, because obviously the tire goes up against that, gives it some pressure, as you can see on this back tire right here. But it's also, if you have 2 bikes loaded up and you ever run into a problem where the bars on one bike are contacting the saddle of the other, they're just right in the way, you can actually set the back tire up on this so it'll tilt the bike, raise the saddle, because that is about a 2.5 inch rise, which should take care of most of those problems. Price wise, this is where it's maybe going to catch some people. It's $9.99, like $1,000, not $9.99. And that is fairly pricey, especially for a 2-bike rack. I do think that some of the features of this help justify that price, and I have to admit it's extremely sturdy. I do think it might be a hard pill to swallow given I have a Velocirax, a 6-bike, right around the same price. It's like $100 more. However, I will say that compared to the Velocirax, obviously this is a much smaller profile. It's easier to get out of the way. It's easier to leave on the vehicle. And that rack actually just most of its time is spent sitting in my garage and not on the back of the vehicle. I've used this one 5 times as much as I have that Velocirax since I've had this, and that one I've had for a couple of years, this one I've had for a couple months. But to be completely honest, if someone were to ask me would I recommend this rack, I would say yeah, 100% I would. The price is the only thing I can find in this that I think is a little bit of a flaw. Some people might not like the straps on the back wheel and would prefer a second arm, but the straps don't really bug me that much. But it's a rack I would definitely recommend to people. So if you're interested, I put a link down in the description. Go check that out. But yeah, just thought I would share my experience with it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.